Very shortly, I will be speaking with the Director of Press at the House of Representatives, Robert Haynes. There are a lot of things to talk about, but most importantly is the passage or the approval by the House of Representatives of the 41 million as requested by President Joseph Yoma Boakai for the operations of the government, or else government shuts down.
Darkness. In a day, look at the bus, the hang all day, waiting for the evening to come up. They are beginning to fly, yo.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of things to talk about. The 55th National Legislature seems very robust. It seems as if all of them taking cue from the mass exodus of members of the 54th, and so they are tracking very, very carefully. As I speak to you, Senator Amara Kone of Babolo County has written plenary of the Senate about this LEC, Liberia Electricity Corporation. We're all experiencing this, power shedding. Everybody crying with LEC's name. So what's going on with LEC? I was supposed to speak with Grand Bassa County Representative Ase Bani concerning LECs as well, but I hope to speak with him on Monday, 9 to 10, about this same LEC, because we need to understand what's happening with LEC. A lot of people crying about the heat. LEC not coming. Sometimes they cut LEC off, the current off in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's the opposite. It comes in the day and goes in the night when it's supposed to be coming on in the night and goes off in the day. So we need to have the discussions around these issues. But Representative Amara Kone, of course, has written the Senate, the plenary of the Liberia Senate. Let's see how the discussion around that comes out with results. But we have in studio this morning a young Director of Press at the House of Representatives, Robert Haynes. Director Haynes, good morning. How are you this morning?
A pleasant good morning. How you doing?
I'm fine. I think this is the first time appearing on the Super Morning Show as a guest for me on my presentation.
Yeah, obviously. So is my debut with you.
Yeah. But how's the house?
Well, the house is doing very well since we commenced the 55th legislature on the 15th of January. It's very active, like you were mentioning your words, very proactive, and making sure that on the sweat and blood, the people of Liberia elected those lawmakers. They are working day and night to make sure that they do not fail their people, to make sure that their voices, the voices of the people, can be heard. And that's the reason why they are up Capitol Hill. They're doing very well, and we have come on.
Yeah, but is it a fair assessment of saying, given that the mass exodus of members of the 54? I mean, they're taking cue from what led to people not coming back, their colleagues not coming back, and now they have to be very careful.
I don't want to basically say that, but I know the reason for which people elect their lawmakers to work in their interests, and so. These young breed of lawmakers we have. Of course, this is a fresh legislature, the 55th, and running in the second month of the first quarter. You come to see they have energized, they re-energized to make sure that the work of the people is being done. And that's the reason why they are upbeat to see key legislations enacted to benefit the masses of our people.
Of course, and I hope that energy continues, because sometimes when we're in the third year of they're getting tired. So some of them not even going back to work, or they're so worried about election, and so they tend to abandon their work. But let's hope that the energy continues up to the last day of the 55th. But anyway, a lot of things have been happening with the House of Representatives. Of course, we were talking about government as the president sending a request to the legislature for the approval of a 41 million US dollars for the operations of government. That includes so many things, including the payment of salaries. But just tell us, how did we come to the president sending a request to the legislature, specifically first the House of Representatives?
Well, thank you very much. Before go on to explain that, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Councillor Fonati, Jonathan Fonati Kofa, along with members of the House of Representatives, have since sent out a message of condolence to the family of Honorable Johnson Gweglo. May peace be to his ashes, Professor Johnson Gweglo, and the great people of Nema County over the news of his passing. Honorable Gweglo served the legislature in the NTLA and very recently represented the people of electoral district number 9, Nema County. While in the House, he served the 54th legislature. He was chairperson on education, and later he became the chairperson on rules, order, and administration. And the House is mourning this distinguished son of Liberia. And so, on behalf of the Speaker, Honorable Fonanti Jonathan Kofa, and members of the House of Representatives, we believe we want to send our kind of message of condolence to the family for the homegoing of the passing of Honorable Johnson Gweglo.
Honorable Johnson Gweglo, I mean, I had an experience of his work. I was covering the legislature. He was always full of putting logic on the floor. He was a debate stabilizer when it seems there was no understanding, and giving his his experience and a great educator, his colleagues looked up to him,
right?
To stabilize debate. So his death hurts not only the people of Nimba County, but also across the country.
Right. And so so we I believe, but however, we're here to also inform the public about, like the question asked us about the request for His Excellency President Jose Yoman Boakai, so as to avoid the government from shutting down. The People's Deputies, the House of Representatives is outbid, like I said, to make sure what is right to be done for the country will be done without excuse. They're very intentional to work in the interest of his country. So the president, consistent with the public financial management law that says that, look, in the process of delay for the submission of the budget, there can be a request, because the deputies of the people have to give the approval for the usage of any public funds. So yes, and so consistent with what have happened, looking at the past administration of His Excellency Dr. George Weah, the budget was being submitted in December, late December, and there were 2 occasions where a communication for the delay in the submission of the budget. So the 54th legislature did not act on the draft national budget of 2024. And so the coming in of the 55th legislature, look, and then said, look, since you have a new administration, fair enough that the programs and policies of the new administration have to align with the budget.
So that was one key reason why the budget was not passed during that period.
Right. And also we had a kind of delay. We have a kind of delay in the submission process of the budget. We have done with elections, all of that, and then the draft budget was being submitted. How do we act on the budget? And you having a new administration coming up,
and you have these very lawmakers going back to their districts or counties for election.
Right. I mean, but we have done already with elections. It was in December. In December, the draft national budget was being submitted, and so they coming in, and that did not, and the 54th legislature did not work on the budget, looking at the timing for asset of fund
or their transition from 54 to 55th.
Right. And so the coming in of the 55th legislature, Magibi County Electoral District number 3 Representative Honorable Eliato read written a communication said, look, you have a new administration consistent with their programs and policies, it should be aligned with the budget that will be submitted. And as such, plenary had to vote to return the draft national budget that was submitted by the Propo administration to the executive,
Okay.
in order that the new administration programs and policies to be aligned. So the budget was being returned to the executive branch.
So was that fair enough for the fact that you had a government that was leaving, and that government had its own
Programs and
development
policies.
program,
Right.
code name Propo Agenda,
Exactly.
and a new administration coming with its own programs and development agenda called Arrest.
Right.
So what was it? Was a a wisdom?
Definitely, because every government have their own programs and policies, and the national development envelope, which is the budget, have to be aligned with their programs and policy. And that's the reason why plenary took the decision to return the budget to the executive. So that
Was it
it is being-
overwhelmingly supported? That
Def-
particular, I mean, motion by the representative.
It was definitely supported. Yes, it was supported. That look, yes, when you have a new administration, their programs and policies have to be aligned with the budget. And so the House voted and then they returned the budget to the executive. In the process of that, you have now had a finance minister and all confirmation having been done and all of that. They've also have taken some time and delaying the process so that the process of resubmitting the draft national budget for 2024. So in the wisdom of the president, he decided to write seeking the approval of the deputies of the people on the usage of 41.3 million United States dollars for the month of February.
Okay.
Right. That is to avoid the government from shutting down. Now, when
So
we have
this morning
civil
is for
servants-
February.
right. When we have
Okay.
civil servants who work and at the end of the month they should be able to take pay. Where do you take money from to pay them when in the absence of the budget? Right. So in the wisdom of the president, so look, as it is intimated in the public financial management law that we should be able to seek approval from the deputies of the people, and that's why he wrote on the 15th of January. He wrote the House of Representatives, and plenary took a decision to forward the communication of the president to the relevant committee, Ways, Means and Finance, and Public Accounts and Expenditure, to review it. And they review that they all of consistent with due process. They did all of that, and on yesterday, the 20th of February, in plenary, the both committee, the joint committee reported, and following the submission process, explain about the essence of this 112, called it 112.
Okay.
Right. So
Was it? Did the lawmakers yesterday see that as an emergency situation that they were under moral obligation to rescue?
well, definitely, they were
Giving
on
the
a moral
urgency.
obligation to make sure that this country is not shut down. The government is not shut down. But brother, look at it. In this case, when people work, they have to be able. The Constitution of Liberia, Article 18, is very clear about equal work, equal pay. So when people work, they have to be able to take their pay. Now, where do we get the funds from to have civil servants taking paid? And how government functionaries will be able to work? Stationaries, you have to have lubricants, you have to have like the way you're talking about the issue of electrification, all of that. So the government cannot shut down. Members of the House of Representatives took the decision to look, all right, let's be able to act in the interest of our people, and that's the reason why they approve the 41.3 million United States dollars for the operations of government, and that cut across the three branches of the government of Liberia: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary branch of government.
We have the debate. Some lawmakers, making their inputs before the approval. I don't want to say the passage, but the
It's
approval.
approval, yeah.
Yeah, the approval of that request. So let's take a listen to some of the lawmakers making their points. And because you were in plenary yesterday,
Right.
when it was almost like
It's obvious
was
that
dramatic.
you will always obvious that you will have lawmakers debating, which is in parliamentary workings. So the people would disagree to agree. At the end of the day, the matters of our people have to be protected, and so their interests being seen by the deputies of the people, and that's how the approval is being done. So yes, you see, in the legislature, particularly the House of Representatives, where you have strong, people with intellect coming from different background and different school of thought, they're going to be debating on the floor. and it's part of legislative
Yeah.
legislative scrutiny.
Yeah.
So that you're able to explain to your colleagues the essence of what you want, the kind of decision you want to take. If you're submitting your bill, why is it necessary? Where we're going to get funds from to do this? All of those arguments got to come forth, but people will initially disagree.
Yeah. But Rabbi, as much as the approval yesterday was overwhelming, there were lawmakers as well who had concerns, and they requested report from the operations of this money. So let's take a listen to some of the lawmakers' concerns.
Right.
We have to do a resolution that we all sign off and send to the Senate so that this budget is passed. Primarily, the Liberian people who are working in government must get paid. And we, as the representative of the people, will not stop them from getting paid at this time of the year.
I think it is very comprehensive, and we are not looking to hold this government hostage.
The peace-loving people of District 4, Massarato County, are 100% interested in the accountability as it relates to the report in terms of the money that is being discussed, so that before we can pass the official budget, the report on the expenditure of this 112 budget should be submitted before the passage of the official budget.
Let me say thank you to the Joint Committee for a very brilliant presentation on the issue about the 41 million plus. Honorable Speaker, having carefully listened to the two gentlemen on the floor, I move, if I can think a second, that this report be accepted, adopted, and forwarded to the Liberian Senate for concurrence, and later to the executive for implementation, if I can receive a second.
Okay, so Robert, you getting the thoughts of these lawmakers. I mean, key words from this debate: accountability, shutdown, cannot hold the government hostage.
Right, like I mentioned earlier, so we cannot have the government shut down, and so this aspect have to come about, and the deputy people needed to act and act in the interest of the country. Now, the aspect of accountability, I can tell you, this 55th legislature is very open, and so there's something called the out terms. The out terms report, when we have during the budgetary period, they're going to be out terms report. They're going to be performance report. But look, all right, this form were being requested for the usage. You have to be able to report before we go to the aspect of now debating the draft national budget upon its submission. So
what's even interesting is Representative Dixon Sibo of Massarato County, is it District 16?
He's the chairperson on Ways, Means and Finance.
Yeah, he was saying that we cannot hold the government hostage. His people in District 16 will have to be paid, the civil service will have to be paid. But it was Marco Thomas from District 4 who was talking about accountability.
Yes, and so you see the aspect of accountability, this 55th legislature under the stewardship of Speaker J. Fonati Kofa is very open. I can tell you the 55th legislature open book policy. In the very first day of our section, let me inform you that members of the House of Representatives voted to have their assets declared and published, to tell you how committed and very serious they are to on the issue about transparency and accountability. It is this 55th legislature under the stewardship of Speaker Fonati Kofa who have said, look, let's initiate working along with the General Auditing Commission to have a comprehensive system audit of the legislature. In many years, these things have not happened. So the aspect of transparency and accountability that I can say to you with us twofold, that this 55th legislature is willing, is open and prepared to make sure that transparency be the order of the day. If the government of Liberia is to make progress, we should be able to have people accountable for what, especially taking public funds.
It's a part of the reform process.
Yeah, this is definitely part of the reform process of the 55th legislature. Now, you see the aspect wherein the legislature members have demonstrated their commitment by declaring their assets and making sure that it's being published, and also initiating a proposal working with the General Auditing Commission for a comprehensive system audit of the legislature. Like I said, I haven't happened in many years. And then the Speaker, recognizing the importance of accountability, has instructed the Committee on Ways, Means, and the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration to conduct employees payroll audit. Right, that is to know, okay, how many people do we have here? Are there ghosts and all of that? These efforts underscore our dedication to promoting transparency and accountability in government. Right.
Now back to the approval of the 41 cents. How what's happening next? Now it has been approved.
It's been sent over to the Liberian Senate. And so,
is that the normal routine?
yes, the legislature is made of two houses:
Mhm.
the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate. Consistent with the Constitution of Liberia, Article 34D says that all revenue and financial bills shall emanate from the House of Representatives. So the issue of a budget and so forth will always come from the House, and upon any legislative action is being sent over, is being transmitted to the Liberian Senate for concurrence, and the Senate will also
Concurrence, that means in agreement.
right? And
Does-
then before
does-
it is being sent over to the office of the president,
Is
for
it
his
vice
signature,
versa? Does it happen from the Senate now
and
to
also to the House? Yes.
okay.
Before a bill become a law, those are the processes it pass through. If it emanates from the Senate, it have to come to the House for concurrence. And if it emanates from the House, it has to go over to the Senate for concurrence. That is because the both houses make up the legislature of Liberia.
Mm.
That's
So one cannot agree and the other disagree. That particular bill, for example, will be put on hold.
right. So both parties have to be able to agree. At a
Mm.
process where there is some point where if you want one of the houses work on an instrument,
Mhm.
like in the case of the drug law that was passed in the 54th legislature and sent over to the Senate, there were some points where the senator needed to put in and say, look, okay, yeah, let's know what the aspect about biddable and non-biddable.
Mhm.
At that point now, then there got to be a conference committee set up. The conference committee is both from the end of the House and out of the Senate. They come together and they act on that and finalize it. And
Maybe inject some
Yes.
points or make some amendments, then
Right.
go back.
right, and set up the conference committee. And then when that has been done, we're going to go to plenary. And plenary in legislative politics is the highest decision-making body, where you have the conglomeration of lawmakers there, and they take a vote on that particular instrument. That's
Mm.
what it is.
So who's responsible for that particular approval document to be sent to the Senate for concurrence? Talking about the
It's a
operation
secretariat.
fund.
It's a secretariat. The secretariat, after the Joint Committee on Public Accounts and Expenditure, Public Account and Expenditure, Waste and Finance, submitted, and then the both committee reports were being endorsed, and it was being approved. Plenary took that decision. It was being transmitted. The Speaker instructed the Chief Clerk
Mhm.
to transmit that to the Liberian Senate for concurrence.
Now, just to backtrack a little bit, looking at the background of how it all started, was that communication sent to a committee at the House from the president? Was that communication
Yes,
sent to a committee or the body in general?
And yes, I mentioned it was being sent addressed to the Speaker of the House. That's how they do it.
Okay.
Address the communication to the Speaker, and it is being read in open section.
Mhm.
And then there will be a motion to accept the communication from the president,
Okay.
and then also to forward it to the relevant committee.
Okay.
Most time the president communication are noted, but in the aspect where the legislature have to act, when the president leaving the country, he has to be able to inform the deputy of the people,
Okay.
to tell us where he's going and what his trip entails and all of that. And then also too on the aspect where he requested, yes, the communication was being addressed to the body,
Mhm.
to the Speaker, because he represents the legislature, and then it's being read in plenary, and this motion is being taken to forward it to the Committee on Waste, Means and Finance and Public Accounts and Expenditure, because it has to do with financial matters.
Who raised that motion?
That motion was being raised by Magibi County Electoral District Number 2 Representative Honorable Alpha Kokolo Jones,
Okay.
who chairs the Committee on Post and Telecommunications. So because he being a veteran lawmaker, two-term lawmaker, he understands the process of that. Matter relating to financial area will have to go to Waste, Means and Finance, and sometimes Waste, Means and Finance, Public Accounts, and sometimes banking and currency.
Okay.
Those are basic committees that look at financial matters. You see, when you are elected and come in the House of Representatives on the basis of the expertise, you are placed on committees.
Okay.
Right. So that's how it is. And the Speaker places people on committee. They're on the committee for 2 years.
And there are certain committees, they are naturally basic committees. Waste,
Right.
Means and Finance,
Right.
Judiciary,
Right.
Public Accounts, all these committees, they are basic committees.
Yeah, the chair on the executive,
They are
executive
never
committee also
dormant. Yeah.
basic and stuff like that. Yeah, because you see, the thing about it is that the House has oversight.
Mhm.
right, oversight over the executive to make sure that, look, all right, this got to work. That's the reason why you see in the House of Representatives we have these committees, the committee on executive work along with the executive branch of government to see what happening and what we need to do to make sure that the government works. And the chairperson is Maserado County Electoral District number 7 representative Honorable Emmanuel Down. He is the third most powerful man in the House. After the speaker, the deputy speaker, you get a chair on executive. That's the third most powerful. The fourth is the chair on foreign affairs. The fifth is the chair on judiciary. The sixth is the chair on ways, means, and finance. The seventh is rules, order, and administration. Just like that. That's how it works. But the House is doing very well.
Okay. Can you confirm that that approval from the House has been forwarded to the Senate?
It has been forwarded to the Liberian Senate as of on yesterday. It's been forwarded to the Liberian Senate, and the Senate will be able to act on that expeditiously because this is a matter of urgency. And I like I mentioned,
but did the House indicate to the Senate that it is a matter of urgency and emergency?
The House,
or it is not in the business of the House to do that.
It is not in the business of the House to do that because you have senators who are Liberians, and you have them who have who represent people who work in government, and so they have to be able to take pay, and we can't have the government shut down, and so they are very knowledgeable people. They're very knowledgeable people.
So the text in the communication itself will just inform them that it is a matter of urgency.
Definitely, and so yes, it will definitely inform them. Look, I trust the wisdom of the Liberian Senate to act on that because it's in the best interest of this country, Liberia, and our people.
Now, if the Senate concurs,
and that is pending the submission of the draft national budget.
Yes, if we will come to the budget, the status of it now. If the Senate concurs, what happens next?
They go over to the office of the president for his signature. The same process of how bills are. And so yes, and so but for that, then the legislature in totality has now consented to say yes, go ahead. The executive
withdraw the money and operating the money.
That's it.
But we need a report of your operation.
Yes, definitely. That's how it is. Then there's a point where now during the budgetary period we call the outturns report, where you have to be able to tell us, look, all right, we have 1 million for goods and services. This is what you have to get more like a kind of performance report.
Okay.
Right. And then before now, the process of the budget now we start to talk about, okay, yeah, this is this and this is that and so forth. Now, let me also inform you that the House took on this decision. Mind you, the president of Liberia has come and said, look, he has 100-day deliverables. And that's the reason why I told you that members of the House are very knowledgeable people and said, look, let's send back the previous budget so that they be able to align with the programs and policy of the new administration, which you just mentioned about RS. Right now, so that this president who said, okay, he has 100-day deliverables, so that those things he has promised the Liberian people that he'll be able to execute in the period of 100 days, those things are going to be executed within this 112 budget. This 112 approval that been given.
So it seems to me what the legislature is doing, or how Senate legislature is doing right now, is to say, okay, you requested, we did it. Liberian people would not hold us responsible if you don't deliver on what you requested. Are they trying to save themselves?
Not necessarily, but they're saving the state. Saving the state, because if we do not have these things working, we'll have a collapse of the government, which the government is not only the president. The government, like I said, 3 branches of the government. The lawmakers in government, the people in the judiciary, the Chief Justice, Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, people in the executive branch. So it's the government in totality. All right. So it is not just the president. So these lawmakers are very knowledgeable people. And so, look, let's be able to do this. Let's be able to act. It's not just to say, okay, let's save ourselves. No, this is about saving the state, saving the Republic of Liberia. And that's the reason why lawmakers debated yesterday in section. It took some time.
So
they were very meticulous in taking the decision.
What's the status of the budget?
The budget has returned to the executive, and the executive is working on the budget to submit it to the legislature.
Okay, when you say working on it, that means they're trying to align their policies and development plans along with what's in the budget.
Exactly, that's how it works. And so you have now have a new Minister of Finance Development Planning who most time on behalf of the president, submit the draft national development and the development envelope of the country, which is the budget.
Mhm.
So they're working on that to make sure that in the process, of working on this 112 are being requested. And so upon the finish, the finishing aspect of the aligning policies and programs with the budget, it will be submitted to the deputies of the people. And we are going to do, when the budget is submitted, the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, Public Accounts, work along with the Legislative Budget Office, the LBO, and we schedule hearings.
Mhm.
The first one is revenue hearing. The
Mhm.
revenue hearing is where you have okay, budget is projection. The
Yep.
budget is not money. The
Yep.
budget is projection. So if we have a budget of 77 million, or maybe, or we're just talking about maybe 1 billion,
Mhm.
then how are we going to raise? Because the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, Public Accounts, very concerned about, okay, yes, you submitted a budget of 1 billion. How are we going to raise the funds? Now they have the minister of the Ministry of Finance will be present in doing the revenue component,
Mhm.
the revenue component of the hearing. Revenue component, you have the Minister of Finance, you have the LRA that raise revenue. You're going to have them, and then also you're going to have these line ministries and agencies that raise revenue for the government of Liberia, the NBA, NAFA. These are people that raise revenue
Mhm. The
for the government,
LRA.
the LRA. So you will have them, and they will be able to now come and explain the process of how the revenue going to be generated.
Robert, a lot of people listening to to the discussion, I don't want to say they may have fear, but the anxiety will come based on the fact that if the budget in this time frame, because the request by the president is essentially talking about servicing for the month of February.
Right.
Now, if the executive does not work on the budget until the end of February, resubmit to the legislature, and the legislature approves. Some of them, they are considering atomized budget, and if they have problem with it, I don't know how is that popular with the House of Representatives. How many of them buy into the idea of seeing an atomized budget? I know it's popular with the senators, but if the executive is not able to, in the time frame of February, at the end of February, complete the working of the budget, we will see a request of similar request
What I
from
can,
the president.
what I cannot speak for the president. I speak for the
But
honorable
but
House of
you're getting the
Representatives.
point. You're
No,
getting the
yeah.
point. And a lot of it's a genuine concern for a lot of people
Right.
listening
So
now.
let me not attempt to preempt what gonna happen. But I know very well we have a very strong Minister of Finance who have been upon his confirmation. He's not new to the job. He served before as Minister of Finance. He knows all the intricacies, and he's been working. And so I know very well that this is going to work in time. And so yes, he's going to be able to work. I've been seeing up Capitol Hill working along with the committee. So probably we'll have the budget very soon, and the lawmakers are going to act.
You believe that they are just finishing touches.
Yeah, probably yes, finishing touches, maybe probably dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and making sure that those numbers. Of course, the budget got to
Because
play with figures and all of that, and so making sure that those things are getting in place. And when that is done, it comes before the deputies of the people, and these processes will go through.
mm, because if the budget now will service March moving forward.
It's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, March moving forward. Yes, sure, it's going to work that way.
And now, at a mass budget, how is that popular with members of the House?
Well, that's the reason why we have the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, Public Accounts. They are people knowledgeable with financial issues. They work on the budget. They have these committees. They have these line management agencies after the um, revenue component of the budget. The hearing, the revenue component. Then you do the expenditure component.
Mm.
Now, doing the expenditure component, where we have members of the press, we have citizens of the country. They come in the joint chamber where now we call the Ministry of Public Works. In the Ministry of Public Works, we say, look, okay, Last year, the Ministry of Public Works operated on this amount, maybe on $3 or $12 million. You want to bring your performance report.
Mhm.
You have to be able to, that is doing the expenditure component. So you tell the committee that, look, okay, out of the 12 million, we were able to construct the road to Bapulu, we were able to construct the road to Bon County, we were able to do this, we were able to do that, we bought this one for our article to do and store owner. This is the balance left over, or we deplete it.
Mm.
All right. Now, and then the lawmakers are going to quiz those agencies of government one by one. That's how they have their time. They schedule them, quiz them, because it does not make sense that you will receive maybe 1 million, and you say you wanted to, because you have to be able to say, oh yeah, okay, I want to buy computers, I want to buy transmitter, I want to do this, do that, and do one for the radio station, and that 1 million is allocated. You got a disbursement, and you did not execute what you mentioned that you have done.
Mhm.
How do you come again now that the deputy of people say, okay, yeah, then in the new budget now you're requesting for 2 million when you got one and you did not execute very well, then you're requesting for two. So these are the points where you have the committee very meticulous in terms of taking looking at line munition agency on the basis of the budget that been submitted and what been done so far. Now, one will say, look, but how will you do performance in the first place when this is a new government? Hmm? Now, this is the point. Now, these requests being made now about the 40 for the 1.3 million. Hmm? It is where you have to have the autumn report now to say, okay, yeah, this is what a kind of request that came from Excellency President Mbuaka, and on the basis of this, you said, look, you needed 1.5 million for maybe public utilities.
Mm.
Let's get the autumn report. What did you people do with this? What happened in this case? What happened in that case? These are, because it's a new administration though. They have not acted on a budget before, but this one has been requested is what the committee is going to look at and say, okay, yeah, yes. That's why you heard Representative Marcus Thomas of District Number 4, Maserado, was basically speaking about the issue of transparency and accountability. Now, they are not going to be basically saying to us, say, look, okay, this for the 1.3 million, yeah, how it was being expended. This one went on basic salaries for civil servant. This one went on goods and services. This one went on this. This one went on that, and they went, yes, like that. So
Mm.
then, before now, the aspect of the draft national budget come about for the discussion. So there had to be an autumn report.
Okay, you're listening to the Super Morning Show on ELBC Radio. Mr. Robert Haynes is Director of Press at the House of Representatives. We're basically looking at yesterday's approval by the House of Representatives of the money requested by His Excellency President Joseph Yoma Boakai to service the month of the February to avoid the government shutting down. In essence, uh, I mean, following the approval yesterday, what were some of the, off the record concerns from off plenary concerns from the senators,
For the
from
representatives.
I mean from the representatives, your bosses,
But you're asking me to give you off record stuff. How do I give you off record stuff? I cannot give you off record conversation.
off plenary conversations.
The information from plenary is what I communicate to the public. It's very legit. It's very legit. So we dwell on the basis of giving factual information to the public with all that, and that's not hearsay. They say we're going to give to the public. The decision taking in plenary in the legislature is banning, and so that's why we communicate to the public. Let me inform you that in the basis of seriousness, now this
Mhm.
55th legislature have since started under the stewardship of Speaker Councillor J. Fonati Kofa in a relentless fight against the search of drugs in our society that are killing our brothers and sisters, are making them going local. The House is taking significant steps.
Mhm.
A specialized committee is being constituted to collaborate with the special task force in the executive, as intimated in President Boaka
Yeah,
annual
they
message.
call them the multi-sectorial committee.
Right, to combat this menace effectively, the issue of drug. So lawmakers are leading by example, with many already ongoing their drug tests.
Okay.
Yes, and so Representative uh, Emmanuel Dan of electoral district number 7 has since taken his drug test and he came negative.
Okay.
Representative of our district number 17, Masterado County, Banal DJ Blue Benson Jr. He also did his representative Thomas Alexander Gosa, several of the lawmakers. In fact, this week, House Speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, is leading group of lawmakers to go and do their drug tests. Look, to tell you how serious this 55th legislature is to make sure that the issue of drug will be able to fight it and joining the effort with the executive branch of government to make sure that this is something being done. These initiatives reflect the dedication of the 55th legislature to uphold the principles of transparency, accountability, and the overall well-being of our nation. And we are very committed to serving the public.
Okay, let's intend to take course. Let's try to take course right here on the Super Morning Show. You're listening to the Super Morning Show this morning. I have with me the Director of Press at the House of Representatives, Robert Haynes, coming on 0800514 096. 080514096, better still 77058 1886, 77058 07705818886. Robert, as we are with the cause, what are some of the striking legislations so far that have been but let's take this call before I ask you that question. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's the name?
Okay, I'm Ramsey F. Joe, and I do join you from district number 5, Masterado County.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Let me say good morning to our honorable in the studio, and I would like to appreciate you people so much for confirming this yesterday because, and it's not so much about you, but some of our family members who have worked with you people, like you said, need to take pay because. From a back signal from the opposition who are saying that they will only confirm 25 million. If you confirm that, what will happen with the other people? How will they get paid? So yeah, I would like to commend you people for that. In every agenda, the only thing we can tell you people, make law in the interest of the Liberians, and you people should be there for the Liberians because we voted you people to represent us. Everybody cannot go in the house, and that is why we voted you people one by one for each district. So we appreciate you people, some of you people who can really address some of those to make it probably to understand, not those that can go on the air to just feel talking because they want to have press conference. They are one of you of this and that. So thank you once again. I may commend you for that. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Honorable. You're in studio.
Morning.
This is Jericho Peters. Well, this is very significant concerning the drug issues in countries like Liberia, where our citizen brothers and sisters are, they are very much deprivable. When you look at their conditions, filthy off, and they are not looking acceptable for people society, but people can still accept them. You see, but so if the drug tax is moving abroad, this will be very much thing for every Liberian. So thank you very much that as we're anticipating the drug tax, that the Honorable House, the Speaker, urging ex-members, brothers there to take their drug test. This will be good for our citizens, especially that will portray that the upper house and the lower house are taking their test. So when they're coming down to the citizens, they won't be afraid. So things will be fine for them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Call us on 0800514 096 0800514 096 and be live on the Super Morning Show this morning. Yeah. So I was asking about some very important. I know all of the legislations put on the floor, they are important, but some very notable ones.
Yeah, right about now, the process of submission of our bills is people are working on to make sure bills are being submitted. But let me inform you that the House of Representatives have sacked the Minister of Education to provide updates about government compulsory primary education and special inclusive education for deaf and visually impaired people. That communication came on the floor yesterday from Masterado County Electoral District number 4 representative Antonin Thomas, Michael Thomas. and he queried the indulgence of plenary to have the MOE provide government policies on compulsory primary education and the special inclusive education for deaf and dumb and the visually impaired people. He said, look, but they are citizens of our country. Let's know so far. Remember, during the regime of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she spoke more of this era of a compulsory primary education, whether it's in effect, and then also to the issue of the learning of our deaf and dumb brothers and sisters. That is a special, they call it inclusive special education. So plenary endorsed that. He said, as he said, the government policies on free and compulsory education, special education in Liberia, with introduction in 2001
Mm.
and reaffirmed in 2011 under the regime of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, is an educational reform act passed by the legislature in 2011 to improve the country quality of education, to encourage school enrollment, reform the governance structure of the education system, and to fulfill constitutional provision that obligate the government to develop the minds of the people of Liberia and people living with disability through the special inclusive education division at the Ministry of Education. So he wants that the MOE come and provide update on that. They are expected to come on Thursday in plenary. There are more of those. Also on yesterday, we have the collective societies making of the Musician Union of Liberia, the National Culture Tree of Liberia. Those people have come to ask the House of Representatives for inclusion in the budget,
Mm.
and so that their petition was being received by the House's chairperson, Information Broadcasting, Representative Bernard DJ Blue Benson Jr.,
Mm.
and he was subsequently forwarded to House Speaker, Councilor Fonati Kofad on yesterday.
Okay, so let's take this call. Good morning.
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 My name is Josiah. I told you saison one. Il a droit d'être femme, Marty County.
Yeah, let's hear you.
First of all, I want to tell the studio guys thank you. I would like to ask you if one of the Cordova have done one of your steps.
Okay. He wants to know. You mean Honorable Cordoba from where?
District number 10, Montreal County.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I wanted to be clear.
Okay.
There are a lot of Cordobas around.
Right. So, but Representative Yeke Koloba is upbeat, like all of the lawmakers, to make sure that this issue about the drug, in fact, he is one of the persons who most time raise issue relative to us making sure that we fight this menace. And so he is going to, like I said, the speaker is leading
Yeah.
a whole team of
Hello?
lawmakers to take their
Go-
drug tests.
Good morning.
Morning, oh.
Morning.
I'm Catherine Cameron calling from Subata.
Okay, let's hear you, Catherine.
Yeah, but my concern is the people that pray and wait for peace to be in Liberia. They will not forget about those prayer people. Especially we were in Subata here. We were in prayer and so all we were here. They said they were going to an airport. So I will come into her another 14 days again for the country here again. Then we will be able to get share for us to pray.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can just a duty that the people that will bring peace in the country and not because of prayer. Kind of we here again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, hope the people listening to you.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't forget about the prayer people. This is a genuine concern. These people prayed during the Civil War.
Right.
I think they need to be factored in one way or the other. But we can take two more calls and go back to our guests. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Cecilia Do calling from Maryland County District number 2.
Yeah, let's hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, let me say thank you to your studio guest this morning. I really said it all and let me applaud him. For the trust test they're talking about, we want to know if our district number 2 Anthony Evelyn is not doing trust test. So we want for you to make clarity on that one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We can take a call and go back to our guests. Then we try to wrap up on 080514096. 080514096. People are concerned about their lawmakers doing their drug test, which is very important. It is a good call. You elect these people, and when the national call is made for people to do the drug test, it's just fair enough that everybody heed. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Dennis, the one calling from the radio.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, my question had to do with all these lawmakers in the river district in this county. You see, this drug law or drug enforcement test, all that stuff. All leaders who are representing the people of Liberia in the river county, they need to start doing their groundwork. See the motorcycle to Center Street yesterday, they start cutting this guy, hey, providing some clothes, making it that they are going somewhere that their life will be changed. Not just to sit and talk or making the law and implementing another thing and taking action towards it is another thing. That's the only way Liberia can go further. Everybody start doing our groundwork. Even we that in the community, we start making engagement to this brother, doing some help towards them. I will make them come back to life. It's the best way forward. Government one cannot do work. Government one can go for someone in the ghetto. We the community people got to do the particular step and leaders. I will come with little help and provide this material to do this work. So that is my little point this morning, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so Rabbi, you listen to the concerns call. People are asking if their lawmakers have done a drug test, especially the one from Maryland County. But let's squeeze in this particular call. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for giving me the time.
Yeah, quickly.
Thank you. I'm Lincoln, still standing with I'll call you from Cleveland, Maryland County.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Let me appreciate your studio guest with respect to the issue under discussion. The fact is that drugs is something that tarnishing or stalling the next generation to come. But let me appreciate the government. In recent time in Cleveland, Southern District, those guys, our brothers called Zogos, my general were collected from the butchers and they were sent to prison. But the fact is that arresting them that one thing. But how the drugs coming into the country? If you don't want for people to take, for example, cane juice, the cane juice should be stopped for selling into the market. So for me, I'm appreciating them. But what they need to do is the importing of drugs. When they stop importing drugs, these guys will not see drugs around, they will not take the drugs. When the drugs, if the drugs is moving around, even when you take a man for prison after 25 years, when you say see the drugs, you'll go back there.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Haynes, yes, you can respond.
Well, let me say thanks a lot to all of you callers for making your points. That's the reason why you got men like vibrating here every time to bring around the table people from different sectors to explain about what is attaining with respect to the sector or ministry or agency. And we come from the end of the legislature, the deputies of the people, they're working in your interests. And like you mentioned, you asked a question about your lawmakers. Yes, we'll come here and inform you. So there are a few of the lawmakers who have already started taking their drug tests. And then on this week or so, next week, the speaker is leading a whole team. He's also going to do his drug tests. And we will, of course, yes, and come and inform the public at laws. But this, like I said, the lawmakers are very meticulous. They're very serious with this. And that's why they have joined the fight to make sure that we fight this menace for our country. We are committed to doing that. Let me also inform you about some of the, you asked a question about some of the decisions being taken so far. We now having the regulator, Liberia Telecommunication Authority, LTA, Lone Star Cell, MTM, over pool communication services. I'm sure I listened to you. I think it was this morning, yesterday. Yeah. So our pool communication services in River G and parts of the country. So our communication emanated from River G representative of electoral district number 3. The name is Representative Johnson Williams. He would plan a equivalent indulgence so that we have the sector regulator, the LTA, and MTN Lone Star South, because he said, look, in the Southeast, you have people probably they pay for 3 days, and in the process of that, the network breaks down. At 3 days gone, so the person dialog for anything.
Yeah.
and people claiming all entries to make calls in this 21st century. And that look and so he said, look, we have to make sure we have these people come. And even right here in parts of Moscow County,
Yeah, totally.
you have people climbing up in trees, climbing on hills to make calls. But I can say to you that this 55th legislature, under the stewardship of our Speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, is very open, committed to working in the interest of the Republic of Liberia and its people.
Okay, Mr. Haynes, thank you very
And just
much.
before I go, let me also say that we have a very cordial working relationship with the media. The speaker is going to be, for the first time since his election, he's going to be having a kind of conversation with legislative reporters on this Friday.
Thank you very much, Robert Haynes. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Well, he's Robert Haynes, the director of press at the House of Representatives. My name is Vafle Kamara. I leave you on this presentation of the Super Morning Show. The other team will be here tomorrow to bring you the Super Morning Show. Bye bye.